Now we're going to hear from Joan Claybrook. Joan Claybrook is first and foremost a national leader in consumer highway, auto, and truck safety. She was former administrator of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration during the Carter administration, president emeritus of Public Citizen, and chair of Citizens for Reliable and Safe Highway. She is consumer co-chair of my organization, Advocates for Highway and Auto Safety. And she was recently appointed as a member of the Department of Transportation National Freight Advisory Committee. I think they'd like to recall that appointment. But nonetheless, she is serving and doing a great job representing the safety interests on that committee. She will be talking more about this flawed DOT study. Thank you, John.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here this morning and to talk about the ongoing problems that are plaguing the comprehensive truck size and weight study and why the American people have to care about this. In 2012, Congress passed a law called MAP 21, which required the U.S. Department of Transportation to conduct a study to gather objective data on the impact of longer, heavier trucks on the safety and the infrastructure of our highways. Seems cut and dried to accomplish, doesn't it? But it has been anything but that. From the start, it has been plagued with biased consultants, bad methodology, and unacceptable shortcuts to finish by an unrealistic deadline. You know the old saying, garbage in, garbage out. Well, that's where we are. That is I say it more crudely than our researcher. That is exactly what is happening, and all American motorists will be human crash test dummies if this experiment isn't stopped right now. And that's what it is. It is an experiment. It is not a real study. To provide one example of how the study is biased, DOT's process of awarding the contract for the study to get help to the DOT staff was not an open process, but rather was limited to only 4 hand-picked companies, all but assuring a predetermined outcome. Furthermore, several consultants within this minuscule applicant pool have a clear history of producing cookie-cutter reports for states in support of increasing truck size and weight limits, clearly tainting their objectivity to perform for DOT a national study on which we all want to rely for the future in our policy decision-making. When we met with senior officials of the Department of Transportation to relay these serious concerns, we suggested that they establish a peer review panel for the study. And this panel was established and created at the National Academy of Sciences. But then we found out that some of the members appointed to the panel had clear conflicts of interest and ties to trucking interests. We demanded that 6 panelists be removed. At least 2 were. Thank goodness. We were surprised they even did that, but we were happy that they did. Beyond these deeply troubling biases, we are aware of additional defects with this study. The study will use limited data from just a few rural states that currently allow oversized trucks on wide open roads to issue findings on the safety of large trucks that interact with traffic on crowded and congested highways in urbanized states, as Dr. Georges Benjamin said. Furthermore, the DOT asked for the safety data from the trucking industry. Talk about the fox owning the hen house. Voluntary industry collected data is highly suspect, is biased, and is prejudicial, and has no national significance. Yesterday, but to our surprise, the peer review committee of the National Academy of Sciences issued a report on the DOT study which validates our concerns and our criticisms. It's a game changer. The report this National Academy of Sciences report or evaluation basically verifies that the DOT study will not produce reliable, creditable results on which to base future policy decisions. It stated that the methods being used have significant weaknesses that make predictions about the safety consequences in the future uncertain. When it comes to truck crashes and lives being at stake, uncertain assertions about safety problems is just not good enough. This study needs to be stopped. Not another dollar should be spent or a consultant paid until corrections are made in the whole study design. Clearly, it cannot and should not be used as a guide for Congress or states to make future policy decisions on truck size and weight limits that affect our families and truck drivers. We have conveyed this message to Secretary Fox, to Acting Deputy Secretary Mendez, and to other senior officials in the Department of Transportation. They're tired of hearing from us, but finally we have some support today from the National Academy of Sciences, and I think they're going to have to now listen. Today we urge the Obama administration to take immediate action on this issue. We need a study that will provide an accurate assessment of the safety and infrastructure consequences of bigger and heavier trucks. If not, this study will become a lottery prize for corporate trucking interests pushing bigger, heavier, and more deadly trucks on our highways. Thank you very much, and to everyone else who is speaking today.